Good evening. Thank you for being here. The HST is dead. British Columbia voters have had their say, and they have said that the Harmonized Sales Tax must go, so its days are numbered. More than 1.6 million BC voters cast a ballot in the HST referendum, and more than half of them said yes to eliminating the Harmonized Tax to return to a separate Provincial Sales Tax and the GST. More than 54% of voters rejected the tax, 9% more than the 45% who voted to keep it. So what happens now, and what's the impact on your family and on the provincial economy? Stephen Andrew begins our team coverage.
It's a vote that will shake up BC politics and send shockwaves through the province's finances.
The yes side, 54.73%, and the no side, 45.27%, and the rejected, about 0.17%.
That means the Harmonized Sales Tax is dead. On March 31st, 2013, British Columbians will no longer pay HST and will once again pay GST and Provincial Sales Tax. And the man who campaigned to scrap the HST, a jubilant former Premier Bill Van der Zalm, is proclaiming the result a win for democracy.
It sent a message to politicians throughout our country especially that they can't simply do things because it's the will of a premier or the party, that they have to, in fact, on an issue as big as we see it here, consult the people.
The government suspected weeks ago the HST was going to be defeated and already has a team in place working to bring back the old sales tax system.
We'll have continuing discussions with the federal government on exiting the agreement we have. It's commonly known as Sitka with respect to the HST.
It's the first time in history any jurisdiction has voted to reject a harmonized sales tax. BC's finance minister says his government has only itself to blame.
You can't be evasive about this. The buck stops with us. We're responsible. And I don't want to point fingers and try and, defray responsibility. We accept the responsibility.
But the decision comes at an estimated cost of $3 billion, including rehiring staff to collect the PST and repaying Ottawa the $1.6 billion it gave the province to set up the HST.
That is going to be subject to negotiations and discussion. I'm not going to be having a public negotiation, but we will honor the commitment we made to keep up our end of the bargain.
BC's finance minister is calling today's result a bump in the road, one that he says is manageable. But he's warning the province will have to tighten his belt, and he's promising British Columbians will have a say in how the province moves forward. And in an effort to calm financial markets, Kevin Falcon says BC will meet its budget goals.
The NDP is celebrating. It sees the referendum as foreshadowing of an election result, and sensing blood, it is striking out at the Liberals.
A campaign that was fundamentally a grassroots campaign, beat a government campaign by Liberals and their allies that misused public funds on Liberal partisan ads and engaged, I think, in one of the most lopsided spending campaigns this province, this country has ever seen.
Christy Clark sees a different picture.
I think there are a whole lot of different things at play.
The Liberals are trying to put a brave and positive face on the HST defeat, wanting to talk only about the province's future economic prosperity.
While I am disappointed with the results, the public has very clearly spoken, and now is the time to turn the page.
And the Premier is once again touting a made-in-BC job creation plan, one that she promises will be unveiled sometime in October.
Stephen Andrew joins us now with more live at the legislature. Stephen, how is this result going to sway Christy Clark's plans for a possible fall election? And how much damage has this done to the Liberals?
Well, if Christy Clark is considering calling an election, she's certainly not showing her cards right now, Hudson. I mean, she has until 2013, May of that year, to call the election. But Kevin Falcon laid out a plan today to replace the HST that took us at least until February 2012 when he's going to produce a budget. So it's doubtful she's going to at least call the election before then. As to the damage to the Liberals, this really could be the beginning of a slow death for the Liberals if they can't change that message off of this HST and the amount of money that it's wasted. Already HST has stacked up a pretty impressive body count. I mean, you've got Gordon Campbell, Colin Hanson has gone, and also Blair Lectionham left the Liberals for a period of time. So unless they can change that message, I'd say that it really is going to cause a major concern as we move forward.
And the likelihood of punishing British Columbians in that spring budget?
Well, I think Kevin Falcon really was trying to stay away from today. He says he's going to consult British Columbians, so they've got to be very, very careful. I don't think they're going to come in with extreme measures, certainly because I think the public would react in such a very strong way that it wouldn't do them any good. So I think they're going to try to find those savings in areas that really don't affect British Columbians that much.
All right, Stephen, thank you. We'll check back with you at 6.
Okay.